Hey everyone, Blue KQ here with you. Today we're following a match in the Warspite, a Tier 6 Royal Navy premium battleship that was released in the game before the Tech Tree battleships. It's got really good guns, and I'm working on the mission of getting Citadel hits to finish off earning the Exeter through the in-game missions. That's a good start, getting a Citadel hit on that backing Helena, and I'm hoping to get a bunch more during this match. One of the downsides to the Warspite is that it is not very fast. It has good guns, has decent armor, and it can turn on a dime compared to most battleships, but it is by no means a fast ship. I started in the middle of the map on the fault line here, and I'm making my way over to support the team that went to the ACAP. And of course they're there and fighting already before I get there. We're going to watch a couple of things during this match. First, because, again, it's a battleship, so there's not a lot of action in between shots, and the 30-second reload is kind of a pain for videos. So I want you guys to be watching a few things. One is, we've already lost all of our DDs and a cruiser. The enemy team just lost their first DD, so our team is already at a disadvantage. They've already capped the ACAP, and so we're going to be playing from behind most of this match. We get a little bit of salty chat from people who don't have any confidence that the team is going to make anything out of this match, and that's a little unfortunate, but bear with us as we fight through. Because we're already pretty far behind, I've already kind of adjusted my mindset to, let's just get Citadels, let's not worry about the win, let's see how far we can progress on our mission. I did get another Citadel hit with that cruiser kill as we were making the way over here, so that's definitely 2 Citadels in the first few salvos. That's pretty good, and so we're just hoping we can get a few more. Pushing up here into the ACAP. Not only am I super slow, so it's taking a while to get there, I also know there's a destroyer that capped the ACAP, and he's waiting for our ships to come around the corner. He was last spotted there in that gap between the 2 islands, so I want to make sure that I'm giving him a wide berth. Torpedo ranges aren't that long at this tier, so it's not a big deal for me to start pushing up as long as I give them a wide enough berth. This Julio Cesar is pushing into the ACAP. I'm not sure what his plan is other than to come in and get as much damage as he can, but I think he's basically going to decide he needs to turn and head towards the B caps instead of running into what's left of the rest of our team. He's already starting to make a turn, but like I mentioned, the Warspite guns are pretty good, and I still do 12,000 damage through his deck armor as he's deciding he doesn't want to point his entire broadside to me, or at least that's what I thought he was going to do, but it turns out he's going to present the other side to me, and I'm trying to turn my bow into him to use the angle of my armor to deflect shots as many as I can, but it turns out the Julio Cesar is not paying attention to me, and the only ship that's targeting me is the Buglioni firing his shells over the island. So I actually turn a little bit dangerous, give a lot of broadside to that Julio Cesar. He could punish me if he was paying attention and focused on me, but since he's not, I'm taking a risk here so that I can get more of my guns on his ship. Not something I would recommend. If this Julio Cesar player was, actually focused on me, he could have done a bunch of damage to me for presenting this much of my side. I'm trying to get Citadel hits, so I take a quick shot at that cruiser. Again, if I weren't worried about Citadel hits, I probably would have shot this Julio Cesar again. While I don't get any hits or Citadel hits on that cruiser, we do a bunch of damage to him, and somebody else finishes him off. So I take a look at the Julio again. He's close. He's not exactly presenting a flat broadside to me anymore. That Buglioni's still being a pain in the butt, but he's on the other side of an island from me and not spotted, so I don't really have a good shot at him. So I continue working on the Julio. Not a good angle for Citadels there, but still getting some good damage on him. And he's still not paying attention to me. So waiting for my reload to come up. taking looks over to see if that Bujoni's anywhere, someplace where I could retaliate. But since I can't, I'm just going to try to get close to the island and take away his ability to lob shells over the island at me. The Julio's starting to turn, so I'm anticipating him slowing down for his turn, as well as turning more broadside. And again, no Citadel hit, but pretty decent damage for what I had there. And again, I'm trying to get close to this island and move up a little bit. Julio's going to disappear here. The cruiser that's coming across is also not spotted, so I launched my airplane hoping to get a good shot at him, but I'm not spotted, he's not spotted, the Julio's not spotted, and turns out Julio wants to back up. He wants to play some more, so we'll go ahead and take advantage of that. Pretty flat broadside, and he's going slow, so he's very predictable as to where he's going to be, and I do end up getting a Citadel on that last salvo. So there we go, we got 3 so far. Looking at that cruiser, because again, looking at Citadels, but this destroyer's close. He's certainly setting up for a torpedo run and ends up hitting the island. He's already smoking, so I'm really hoping my reload comes up in time. And sure enough, I'm able to get a shot off before he disappears. Oh, look at that, I made him disappear. Taking a look at the mini-map, there's still a Bayern who's coming over to try to help out at A. So I'm going to get my guns turned around, because that takes a while. They're pretty slow. And get my nose pointed towards him so that in case he comes around, I can maybe deflect some of his shots. He comes out pretty broadside to me, not quite flat, but definitely more broad than he should be. And he's firing HE at me. So I'm going to take a couple of fires, but I take 11,000, 12,000 of his health, get my secondaries focused on him. And even though I'm going to keep my nose pointed pretty much at him, there'll still be a couple of shots that get off from the secondaries to do a little bit of damage on him, and maybe those will set a fire. Put a little snarky comment out in chat, you know, HE Bayern, your mom must be proud. Clearly he's a relatively new battleship player. Whether or not he knows the benefits of switching to AP or not, you know, with my nose pointed at him, it's probably not a terrible decision, but he could probably get more damage on me more consistently if he were aiming properly with the proper ammo. Because he's shooting HE at me, I give him a little bit more of my side than I probably would otherwise. So again, it's another battleship that's not playing very effectively against me, and I'm kind of, you know, taking more of a risk than I normally would to try to get some extra damage on him. I anticipate that he's going to shoot AP at me at any time, so I'm not being completely flat to him, but I also don't want to give my broadside to the Bujoni on the other side. He could put some Russian cruiser AP into my above the torpedo belt or into my superstructure and do a bunch of damage. We end up finishing and getting a kill on that Bayern, and I'm turning around to see if I can get shots on the Bujoni, but it turns out he's turning north and he's got an island between his ship and mine, so I won't be able to get any shots on him, and my teammates do a pretty good job of finishing him off. I'm gonna let that fire burn out instead of use a repair. Got a heal I'm gonna use to try to regenerate some of that health, and we're gonna skip ahead here to eliminate the very slow drive time over there where my teammate's basically asking for help spotting and I tell him my race car's in high gear. So we've skipped ahead a little bit here. The Miyoko's popping out from behind the island. Looks like all of their ships have consolidated at B to try to defend that point, and I'm not sure if this Miyoko was paying attention or not to where I was going to come out, but we get more Citadel hits and high caliber and Confederate with that last salvo. I've got one more gun that I'm going to shoot at him. Again, trying to get lots of Citadel hits. Even though I hit him, I don't get a Citadel, and somebody else finishes him off. And I'm already starting to focus on this Fiji. I unfortunately didn't read what his ship was doing very well, so all these shots are going to miss. And I'm anticipating that he's going to send torpedoes my way. And instead of turning in or finishing this turn in, I'm actually going to straighten out, and hopefully he guessed I was going to turn in. And so maybe his torpedoes will pass behind me. And sure enough, there's some spotted right there that are going to hit that island next to me. and another set that'll be coming here in a little bit. As his smoke dissipates, he's already ducking behind the island, so the only ship I have left to shoot at is the Nelson. He put a salvo over the island and set me on fire, so he's trying to distribute that HE damage around. Maybe he's working on one of the damage missions or set fire missions or something like that for his Exeter missions, but I'm working on citadels, so I'm going to try to get some more on this Fiji. Again, lightly armored cruiser, like all the Royal Navy light cruiser line, so it's a pretty good chance for me to get citadel hits. Don't get any on that particular salvo, but he's turning completely broadside to me, so I anticipate that he's sending more torpedoes. There's that other set I told you about, and sure enough, they're passing behind me, so that's good news for me.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Looks like he's starting to slow down a little bit, so I want to make sure that I'm not aiming too far out in front of him. And there's a nice, perfect Fiji-sized dispersion in those 4 shells that went out. 1 on one side and 3 on the other side, and all happened to miss him. Here comes his smoke, but luckily for me, our ship still has a radar charge, so he's going to pop up here and be visible to the rest of my team. He's starting to speed up because he knows sitting still in smoke is going to be a problem, so I do manage to get another good salvo off on him. Another citadel overpen and a penetration for most of his health, and my teammate was able to finish him off.
Concentrate fire on the target. Roger. Affirmative.
I got a fire burning, pretty low on health, and don't have any more repairs, so I'm going to take a chance here and hope that he didn't have his torpedoes sent out yet, but I'm going to slow down anyway, and I'm going to hit the repair button to put that fire out before I run out of HP. Nelson's the only one left.
Problem solved, sir.
They have a pretty significant points advantage, and even though we're going to stop the cap points for the B point here, with 3 minutes left, it's unlikely we'll be able to get enough points fast enough to overtake him, their team. So for us to win this match, which is certainly a possibility now, this Nelson needs to be sunk. I'm in a spot behind this island where even though I'm getting closer to it, I am not spotted. So I'm going to try to shoot over the island and without being spotted, and hopefully we do some damage on the Nelson and continue to remain unspotted so that he can't finish me off. I'm pretty low on health at this point. Unfortunately, as I get closer, I realize I need to angle away because the slope of that island is going to start taking my shots and blocking them as opposed to getting over them. One salvo coming in at me, directed at me, and I've got a salvo out on him. And he ends up killing me just before I kill him for my Kraken. I wish I would have survived there. I would have also got Dreadnought and Fireproof, but still not a bad match. 151,000 damage. Confederate, Kraken, and High Caliber, the 5 Citadel hits for that mission. Taking a look at the team score, 2,657 base XP. That's a pretty good match for me. I'll take that any day of the week. Top 3 people on our team also had really good matches and managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Taking a look at the detailed damage results, he had 35,900 on that Julio Cesar. Again, if he would have been paying attention to me and shooting at me, it would have been a different story. 32,000 on that Bayern as he crossed over to defend the ACAP. 14,000 on that Nelson there at the end. 9,200 on the shores for that first kill at the beginning of the match. 3,200 on that Icarus to finish him off. 25,000 on the Helena, which was that first Citadel hit right at the beginning of the video. And scrolling over on the detailed damage results, it shows another 15,000 on the Miyoko and 14,000 on the Fiji for those 2 cruisers at the end, even though the other people got the kills. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something about the Warspite and about not giving up, even if all your DDs are dead and the rest of your teammates are calling you out for not doing anything. Maybe you can still turn that match around. Hit like if you liked the video. Leave some comments down below about things you liked or didn't like about the video, or what you want to see for content on the channel. Hit subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and be sure to hit that bell button if you want to know right when that video is published. Thanks for stopping by the arcade, and I hope you enjoy the game.